CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
With tensions mounting and negotiations now at a standpoint, college support workers rally right across the province. Good evening. Striking college workers took to campuses across Ontario today, demanding job security and protection for student supports. CTV's Luc Simard was on the ground at one of today's massive picket lines found right here in our region.
Hundreds of college support staff were joined today by supporters to walk the picket line at Georgian College in Orillia. A peaceful and noisy protest throughout the day caused some delays for students going to class and drivers in the area. 10,000 full-time college support staff across the province have been on strike since September 11th and are demanding better wages, benefits, and job security.
Today is about negotiating a contract, and it's also about saving our colleges, because our colleges are significantly underfunded. And as a result, this campus that we're standing on right now has been declared for closure for 2026.
The College Employer Council, which represents Ontario's 24 publicly funded colleges, says the deal was progressing well until ultimatums were placed on the table.
These two demands that there could be no contracting out regardless of the impact on jobs, and that deans can't speak to students about things like study habits, it's not anything the colleges will ever agree to.
The rally comes less than a week after Georgian College announced the closure of its Orillia campus, and students not only came out today to walk in solidarity with support staff, but to also voice their concerns.
The people are rallying, some support workers, some just volunteers, from students to, I believe, perhaps other teachers, to show solidarity with the Georgian students at Orillia, who, without any notice whatsoever, were told that their campus is shutting down.
It's been very powerful. Like, the energy here is amazing, and everyone just wants the world to hear what we're striking for.
As of today, there are no more rallies being planned by the union. Talks between the two sides fell apart earlier this week, and both sides say they are waiting for the other to return to the table to continue negotiations. Luc Simard, CTV News, Orillia.
You may have noticed that our region is popping with color, especially over at Algonquin Park, where leaves are turning and the views are simply stunning. CTV's Rob Cooper found out what makes the season so special and how to soak in nature's annual show safely.
Whether it's Muskoka or Algonquin Park, you don't have to look very far to find a perfect view.
We heard a lot about Algonquin Park. It will be like so beautiful in the fall season. So we want to experience that one.
You like what you see so far?
Oh, yeah.
This time of year, it's all about the fall colors. People from all over the world flock to the region just to snap the perfect pic.
I'm from Germany and I want to see the fall. Just I expected. Yes. It's beautiful, the wet trees.
Staff at Algonquin Provincial Park said the colors are already at its peak for the season, a little early, partly because of the summer drought.
Yeah, so right now we're actually at 100% with 30% leaf drop. So we are at peak here in Algonquin Park, especially with our reds and oranges. Those yellows and golden colors are still to come, however.
Known as the Golden After Show, those yellows and oranges will likely appear later in the month.
So good to be up here. It's good for the soul, peace of mind, all that. But I've seen better years, but I'd rather be here.
Got up here a little later than I expected, but so far so good. And it's absolutely beautiful out here, so how could you not want to be up here?
About 1.4 million people visit the park every year. The majority of those show up during the fall season for the colors. Visitors are reminded to avoid parking next to Highway 60 for obvious safety reasons. While the colors may not be as dominant as previous years, the show is still a go until the wind and rain arrive.
Wind and rain are certainly a buzzkill. Wind and rain, of course, knock the leaves down and actually creates a shorter fall color season.
Honestly, personally, I don't really like the full red color. I prefer the color with different, let's say, yellow, orange and green and everything mixed together. It makes me feel like much better.
Okay, so a few things to keep in mind if you are heading up. For one, animals. Two, your speed on the highway, as it will be busy. And of course, don't park next to the highway. Other than that, take a ton of pictures and send them to us. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Algonquin Park.
Rob Cooper in his natural habitat case.
Oh, yeah, Coop, well done, well done. And color peak in Algonquin Park? Wow, that was fast. And Coop's kind of peeking. I like that. Very well done. And yeah, now's the time, certainly, to get out across our region and enjoy all the colors and all the great weather. And I say great, I mean, it's summer-like weather without any question. Even though we're into autumn, it gets warmer. It really does. More on that coming up in a few minutes' time. Let's talk about our first look at the forecast. And here we go, brought to you by thegraveldrivewayguy.com, your local gravel driveway expert. 18 degrees out here. Yeah, the jacket, maybe I'm kind of a little bit overkill with the jacket, but no, it's once the sun goes down, though, it does get kind of chilly in a big hurry. Winds are light and will remain that way out of the southeast, 7 kilometers an hour. The temperature outside your door, 21 degrees in Owen Sound. Wow, that's an attack on the temperature, isn't it? Owen Sound attack. Love that team. 20 degrees is what we're looking up at Gravenhurst, and 19 in Parry Sound. How about 16 in, I guess that would be Newmarket, and 20 out Mount Forest Way. A quick look, if you will, if we must. And we must. A radar satellite image, a few clouds in the area, yes. But the talk is all about the rising temperature, Sarah. And coming up in just a few minutes' time, we're going to tell you how high we can really go. All that coming up in a few minutes' time back inside.
Thanks, Case. Now, from making outdoor dining permanent to tougher rules around homelessness, it was a busy night at Barrie City Hall. Why don't we go now to CTV's Jack Morris. He brings us details tonight from Council. Jack.
Well, Sarah, some local business owners are celebrating now that Council made its winter patio pilot program permanent last night. Up to 6 local restaurants, bars and pubs will now be able to have patios throughout the winter. Patios had been allowed from mid-April to mid-November, but with this change, some businesses will be able to keep their patios open all year long. The downtown BIA says 2 businesses are already looking to join the program. The test kicked off last year. Council allowed Flying Monkeys Craft Brewery to leave its patio out all winter, and they say it was a hit.
We've got lots of guests who love their furry friends, so we wanted to kind of keep that alive through the winter, so the patio's dog-friendly. Guests can come and bring their dogs, but also to kind of embody the all-seasons living that Barrie does. So like to be able to enjoy winter outside for those nice days that have the sun shining, where you want to get a little bit of vitamin D outside, and to, yeah, enjoy that.
Now, there was also more serious discussion last night with Council talking about a new suite of public property use rules aimed to control homelessness in Barrie. Mayor Alex Nuttall says they're setting a foundation for stopping encampments from coming back once the state of emergency, which was put in place early last month, is finally lifted. The new bylaw gives officers broad power to target behaviors associated with homelessness. That includes things like putting up tents, smoking, and using public property as a bathroom. Some of the new rules have drawn criticism, particularly a section that stops individual people from giving away things on city property. That means handing out things like food, clothes, and tents to homeless people could get you a fine. However, it doesn't stop charities from doing that. Nuttall defended the changes ahead of the vote last night.
That is always going to be the better road than an encampment on the side of the road with a tent with drugs and 10,000 cash and crossbows and starter pistols and knives and kids walking by. It's just not allowed in this city anymore. And our bylaws need to be brought up to date to reflect what the expectation, the rules of this community are.
Council voted unanimously in favor of the tougher bylaws. Now, courts still require that the city offers suitable accommodation to anyone living outside homeless people before forcing them to leave. And Nuttall has committed multiple times to do that. Sarah, back to you.
All right, thanks very much for that, Jack. Canada's fiscal watchdog says that housing affordability is improving, but not everywhere. The parliamentary budget officer says the gap between home prices and what most households can afford has shrunk from 80 to 34% over the past year, and lower borrowing costs and stronger wages are being held responsible. So joining us now to talk more about that is real estate broker Peggy Hill. Peggy, what exactly does that information mean for the people of Barrie?
Well, it's not exactly Simcoe County information. That is definitely a Toronto number. I mean, yes, prices have come down everywhere, but the average home was selling for 1.3 and now it's 1.1, like that's still out of people's reach. That is out of people's reach. And that's why we benefited from having to have first-time buyers, because we do have affordable options. You know, people can buy up here and the rates have come down. You know, the housing supply is up, rates are down, and prices are down. So that number does not apply to Simcoe County. Simcoe County is definitely more affordable.
Okay. If we bring other numbers into play, today it showed most municipalities across the region, they received a failing grade. So how would us meeting those housing targets, how would that affect the market?
Well, here's the thing. We have homes that have been built and they're sitting. So I don't believe everything that that statement says. So this is not an issue, a political issue. This isn't, you know, when the strong mayor powers came in effect, and I mean, Barrie was the best. Like we were pushing things through, but you can't push developers to build if they have their hands in their pockets. And developers can't build in an environment where rates are still high, labor is expensive, and now supplies with tariffs, they have to pay a fortune. So they would rather keep vacant land than actually build homes that are going to sit. For one thing, you have to carry all this. So until we start picking up, this is the developers not building. This is not the government not trying to help.
Right. Well, expand on that, because I think a lot of the people think that perhaps it is politically motivated.
It is not politically motivated, because they'd love nothing more. I mean, every permit that comes through the Barrie office right now is usually for a second suite, or you know, for things like, it's not to build homes, because we have so many sitting. We have so many builders that have built and the homes are sitting. So until some of that starts to get sold, and even the builders are trying, like they're trying in incentives. They're pulling back, they're buying back your rates, so you're going to get less of a rate, you know, so it's more affordable, because we still have pretty high prices for the rates we're paying.
So then for people that want to stay in our region, what realistic options are there? We have
options. We had a buyer last week we placed in a condo for $270,000. So you can buy that condo. It was a one-bedroom, it wasn't a bachelor, $270,000. And they can have a roof over their head for less than they can rent. So there are options. You just have to know where to find them.
Okay. Well, we will keep this conversation going, but for our audience at home, if you'd like to learn more about it right now, that can be done on our website. Let's go ahead and pull that up. It's ctvnews.ca/Barrie for more info. Okay, and in other news tonight, our federal health minister shared new numbers on Canada's dental care plan today.
We announced that more than 5 million Canadians are currently covered under the Canadian Dental Care Plan.
Health Canada says most dental providers are now on board with the program that launched last year. It's available for seniors, children, and people with disabilities, and has since expanded to even more Canadians. It covers basic dental work for uninsured people making under $90,000 a year. And a dire warning for Canada Post today. The Canadian Federation of Independent Business says nearly 2/3 of small business customers could walk away if the strike continues.
More and more businesses every single day that the strike continues are doing the same. I got to tell you, for Canada Post workers and the future of the corporation itself, that makes the reform job way, way harder.
13% of small businesses stopped using Canada Post after the last strike, and nearly 2/3 say they'll do the same if another one hits. The group is urging Ottawa to step in, saying last year's strike cost small businesses over $1 billion. A Midland man accused of serious offenses involving women was in court today, and what was expected took a different turn. CTV's Mike Arcelides brings us this report, but first a warning, the story contains some disturbing content.
Horrifying facts read in court by the Crown, detailing Michael L'Enfant's admitted sexual violence against vulnerable women. The 33-year-old from Midland pleaded guilty to 5 counts of sexual assault with a weapon, sexual assault, and attempted choking with intent to commit an indictable offense. Details read in court too graphic to be shared. Disturbing details that can only be described as sexual torture. L'Enfant, who was charged last year by provincial police in Midland, was granted bail to his father, who pledged $5,000 to serve as his surety under house arrest.
Mr. L'Enfant, you have anything to say about these allegations?
Weeks later, police said L'Enfant breached his conditions. He's been behind bars for 10 months. L'Enfant is also in the midst of a separate trial accused of child luring, and returns to court later this month. Court documents obtained by CTV News reveal L'Enfant previously pleaded guilty to uttering threats in 2023 and was convicted of assault with a weapon in 2020. L'Enfant has now pleaded guilty to sexually assaulting his victims in Midland and Barrie between 2011 and 2024. The Crown is asking L'Enfant be placed on the sex offender registry. Both the Crown and defense submitted a joint position seeking a sentence of 3.5 years behind bars, less time for pre-sentence custody. The defense is seeking enhanced credit of double time for every day L'Enfant has been in jail under harsh conditions. L'Enfant is scheduled to be sentenced in November. Mike Arsleedy, CTV News, Barrie.
Now to the Niagara region, where police have announced the results of a joint operation that led to the seizure of guns, drugs, and stolen vehicles. CTV's John Musselman has more on Project Road King.
Guns, drugs, cash, and dozens of stolen vehicles, all of it seized during a joint forces investigation dubbed Project Road King. Police in Niagara region describe it as a criminal network operating across local, provincial, and international borders.
Officers seized in excess of $260,000 of controlled substances, including cocaine and MDMA. Over $500,000 in Canadian currency was recovered, and most notably 38 stolen vehicles were located and recovered.
Many of the stolen vehicles had altered VIN numbers and were intercepted at shipping points inside cargo containers headed to places like Nigeria and Vietnam. Investigators say the stolen vehicles were taken from Hamilton, York Region, Toronto, Halton, Simcoe, and Guelph. The total value is more than $3.3 million. 30 people have been charged in this case.
It's a clear example of what can be achieved when law enforcement agencies break down silos and work together towards a common goal.
Police also seized large quantities of drugs, including cocaine. The investigation began in August 2024, but it expanded in April when several GTA police forces, the RCMP, the Criminal Intelligence Service of Ontario, and Canadian Border Services were brought in. A dozen search warrants were executed across Niagara, Hamilton, and Toronto on September the 9th. The 30 people arrested in this investigation are facing more than 200 charges. John Musselman, CTV News in Niagara Falls.
Air travelers right across Canada could face delays after an outage at border inspection kiosks. The Canada Border Services Agency says multiple airports were impacted. The issue is resolved, but travelers may still experience delays in the short term. The kiosks are located at major airports across the country and are used by passengers touching down from international flights. They say the incident was connected to an earlier outage this week. Now, here at home, since 2015, a hockey equipment drive has been helping Indigenous communities across Ontario and beyond.
Some of these are wood, some of them are graphite. Graphite sticks right now go for anywhere from $200 to $400 a piece. This is just from London.
Starting with just 8 bags and 20 sticks donated by his son's Richmond Hill team, Graham McWaters has since turned the drive into a power play, donating more than 1,000 bags of gear every fall. It's all about passing the puck and keeping the game alive for all Canadians.
We'll collect the gear, we'll sort it, bag it, tag it, and we'll bring it to our warehouse in Barrie or in Whitby. And now we get anywhere from 25 to 150 bags every time we do one of those events. It's monumental how it has expanded. And today I had 2 people contact me that want to do hockey drives. I've got so many people that want to do it for me, or do it for us, that I've turned it into a turnkey operation where I give them everything they need to do. I even provide them with the tags. And when they have all the gear sorted, I go pick it up and bring it to my warehouse.
Recently, 100 bags and 200 sticks made the 4,500-kilometer trip to an Indigenous community in the Northwest Territories. And this Saturday, 500 bags and 1,000 sticks will be handed out to 16 communities in and around our region. That'll be done at Access Storage on Saunders Road from 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. Still to come, the popularity of pickleball. The growing sport is about to take a group from Collingwood to the world stage. Plus, South Simcoe Police laced up today to show local support for Special Olympics Canada. Those stories and more coming up. But first, we're continuing our celebrations of CKVR's 70th anniversary. And here is a special message from Premier Doug Ford.
I want to extend a big congratulations to everyone at CTV Barrie as you celebrate your 70th anniversary. For decades, You've kept people informed and connected with trusted local news and stories that matter. Thank you for your commitment to journalism and to the people of Barrie and Central Ontario. Congratulations again. Wishing you all the very best, and God bless.
The Real Estate Spotlight is brought to you by the Peggy Hill Team.
The town of Collingwood is quickly becoming known as a hot spot for developing some pretty good pickleball players. So good, in fact, some have been chosen to represent Canada at the 72-country Pickleball World Cup.
The experience is certainly going to be an exciting one, and one, probably a core memory for the rest of our lives, but we want to win.
Tara Di Giuseppe is one of the players on the team. She played high-end competitive volleyball for about a decade. 4 years ago, she took up pickleball. Now, if you ask Tara if she ever thought she'd be playing on Team Canada at the Pickleball World Cup, the answer might surprise you.
Absolutely not. I spent so much time making fun of my mom for playing this low-impact tennis sport. I'm like, Mom, you can move around really well. Why are you playing this? And was not expecting to catch the bug, the pickleball bug. It's a bit of a virus. It's quite addictive. I learned quickly.
On behalf of all of us here at CTV Barrie, we wish Tara and the Canadian team good luck at the Pickleball World Cup. It runs October 2nd until November 2nd in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Members of the South Simcoe Police Service laced up this morning in Bradford for the annual Law Enforcement Torch Run. The event, that is now a staple in the community, raises funds and awareness for Special Olympics Canada. Funds were raised through T-shirt sales, with every dollar going directly to support athletes right across the country. This year's run featured local Special Olympics athlete Monique Shaw.
I'm here today with this police officer that support me, help me raise money for Special Olympics to get on new uniforms and stuff, and keep fit with training. It's really fun, helping me, and it's very fun because I know my neighborhood, so I run with them a lot every year.
It's a great opportunity for us to, get out of the cruiser or get out of the office for half an hour, get some exercise, and support a great cause.
So Simcoe Police will also take part in the OPP Guardians Run. That's later this month in Aurelia. Oromadante's fire crew is thinking pink this fall, and of course, it's all for a good cause.
It's beautiful. I think we noticed it early September, and we had a quick little family chat about it because it was so important to us.
That's a look at Pump 3, sporting a bright new look wrapped in pink to raise awareness and funds for breast cancer research. The eye-catching truck will be rolling out to local events throughout the community.
There was a stat that came out that 1 in 8 females in the country are affected by breast cancer. We knew obviously that it was going to turn some heads and generate some conversation, which is exactly what we were hoping for. And one of the things that we definitely realize and associate with volunteer firefighters is just how involved they do get with the communities and how passionate they are about raising funds.
Keep an eye out for the pink truck and show support all month long. And then in November, it will be sporting a new look for a new cause as the fire department gears up for Movember to support men's health. As we continue to celebrate the 70th anniversary of our station, it seems only fitting to bring in a longtime broadcaster who was in fact here when it was still CKVR. Please join me in offering a warm welcome to Kevin Frankish. So fantastic to have you on the program.
Yes, Sarah, let's bring in a broadcaster who's almost 70 himself. So I find that hard to believe. I'm 9 years shy of 70.
That we refer to that as seasoned, Kevin. And that all makes sense because you started at the station back in 1983. What do you remember the most from that time?
I was just a kid. That was my first full-time job, first time away from home. I had worked for a few years in the industry, but only part-time while I was finishing school. And so this was my first job, my first time on a real TV station as well. And it was a time in the early 80s when TV news, especially local news, was getting into showbiz, to become very much more showbizy and glitzy and more entertainment. But that meant having a budget. And we didn't have a big budget at all at the old VR. So we had to make do, but it was fun. You know, it was the golden age, I think, of television. Not to take anything away from the era you're in, Sarah, but it was a time when we tried things. And if they didn't work, we tried something else. We didn't really listen, or we didn't have any consultants or things like that. We just did things that we thought would work. So I think fun was the best way to describe it. It was a family.
Absolutely, and I'd like to think that that feeling certainly carries on. Although I will say I do not miss splicing film. You can't tell me that you weren't happy that that technology moved forward.
I luckily came in just as film had just died, thank goodness. So we were the first, actually, CKVR, CTV News, was the first to use videotape in Canada. One of the first, not the first, but one of the first. And one of the main reasons was because using film, we were outside of Barrie at that time. We weren't on city water. So sometimes some of all those chemicals would end up in our septic system. And so we were sort of told, switch to videotape or clean it up.
We found an old report, Kevin, from 1985, and you were covering the tornado. Being, you know, such a young journalist, as you were just mentioning, what was that like for you?
It was surreal. There were 12 tornadoes that day, 1985, May 31st, 1985. And the tornadoes had started well west of us. And so they had managed to cut off our power supply. So we had a blackout. We didn't know what was going on. It seemed kind of intense outside. We were outside playing catch with a ball because we couldn't do anything. Editing, we had no backup generator. And then it started getting dark. Sky turned green. It's all the things you hear about. And we knew that there's something had happened, but I didn't know what. So I jumped in the car with cameraman Steve Miller, and we went down the hill on Essa Road. And what met us when we got to the bottom of the hill was, again, like I say, surreal. The Barrie Raceway was there at that time, the horse track right at the bottom of the hill. And there were horses running around. There were people trapped in cars, trucks upside down, trapped in debris. And I didn't know what to do first. I just started interviewing people, just left and right, started interviewing people.
Let's switch gears back to what you mentioned, the fun, the lighter side of broadcasting. You have an incredibly illustrious career, went on to span 27 years with Breakfast Television. You left us in 1991. Is there something that you perhaps learned during your time in Barrie that stuck with you?
You know what? When I moved on to Breakfast Television after that, I really credit CKVR, and I keep calling it CKVR. I hope the old timers all remember those call letters. But I learned how important local was. And when I say local, you can be local in Toronto as well, because someone who lives, say, at Bloor and Islington, they're still human beings who are interested in their local news from their neighborhood, and they want to be able to talk one-on-one with the person who is bringing them the news. So I learned how to interact with an audience, and that audience really became family. And I think that's a really important thing. And I'd really suggest that to any new broadcasters is always remember the people you are talking to, you may think they're sophisticated, big city. No, they're all individuals who have their own individual lives, their own individual problems. And so, you know, talk to them and let them know what's happening and be honest above all.
That is something I'm going to take away from this interview. We'll leave it there for today, Kevin, but thank you so much for paving the way for the rest of us. You truly are an icon.
Oh, thank you very much for saying that. I appreciate it, Sarah.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking the time. Now, still to come here on CTV Barrie, we'll keep the celebrations rolling with a message from a former reporter and anchor that you can now watch on NBC. In fact, she's a correspondent for one of my favorite shows, Dateline. That's in just seconds, but right now let's head outside. Case.
I arrived here in 2002 and I worked on the Guide to VR Land. A great show, great people. Giselle Denis, Darren Maharaj, Keith Cheney, oh my goodness, Ruth Anderson, so many great people, and my buddy Jason White. Yeah, great times. You're watching CTV News Barrie, and our weather watcher artiste wants to know one thing. Melanie says, hey, you ever do any apple stories back then? Oh, bushels. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Hey everyone, it's Andrea Canning coming to you from Dallas, Texas on the set of another Dateline shoot. Just reminiscing about my time at the VR and how wonderful it was. And what was so special about it is being a hometown girl and being just an hour from Collingwood and Blue Mountain, and to be able to be on TV surrounded by family and my community. And my time there just set me up to do bigger things. But I've never forgotten my time there. It was the best. And I want to wish you the happiest anniversary. Miss you all at home.
What a wonderful topic this week for Picture This. It's whatever makes us feel warm and cozy. Make sure you snap a shot of it and send it our way. Picture this at ctv.ca. Let's head back outside. Case, I've been absolutely loving this week of nostalgia. And you picked up on the camera person that Kevin Frankish was talking about. What was his nickname?
Steve Miller, his nickname Scooter, all kinds of great people behind the scenes that we don't talk about often enough. We really should. And Steve Miller was with Scooter, was with Kevin Frankish, Kevin's first day when they went down to cover the tornado. What an experience that was. And Scooter, of course, been here for, or worked here for a long time. I guess he left probably about 7 or 8 years ago. Still see him around town. Great guy, as so many of the great people behind the scenes that we don't get a chance to talk to and learn some of their fantastic memories. There's many of them. Let's talk about making memories of autumn, shall we? As far as the forecast goes, I think it's a nice segue into it. 18 degrees right now as we speak in Owen Sound, 20 in Collingwood, 19 in the Sunshine City of Orillia, 16 in Newmarket, 20 in Mount Forest, and 17 in Toronto. This is a look at the almanac for today, and 18 and 4, that's the high, that's the low. A record in 2023, 29 degrees, and a record, well, stretching back a little more than, any of us remember, minus 3.3 in 1899. Sun rises tomorrow, 7:19. It sets at 6:55, 11 hours and 35 minutes of daylight. Roll that forecast radar, if you will, please. And as we take a look, there's some clouds. Still lots of stars out this evening, and look at tomorrow. Isn't that lovely? Look what we got going across the top end of the province. Is that going to reach us? Boy, we've had a wonderful sun run. It does eventually get to us, or the chance thereof. Let's break it down. Take a look at some of the numbers. Here we go. This is southern tip of Georgian Bay Lake, Simcoe. Overnight, yes, the ever-present low-lying fog rolling in. 7 and 8 degrees is what we're looking at. Yeah, there's a few clouds. And then for tomorrow, feeling like 27 degrees, ladies and gentlemen. Sunny skies with the humidex, 27 degrees. To Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill, 7 degrees overnight. There's a few clouds, low-lying cloud for this evening. Low-lying fog, I might add, and 24, 25 degrees and sunny skies for us to enjoy tomorrow, and enjoy you will, I should say. Yes, Parry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Halliburton, 6 and 8 degrees. There's a few clouds this evening and some fog for us to enjoy. Spooky fog, I might add, in October. 22, 23, 24, sun and cloud mix. How long, you say? How long can the sun run exist? Well, that answer can be found not in tonight and tomorrow, but in the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast. And it looks like this starting in Simcoe County Saturday. Now looks like cloud cover. Yes, a cloudy, muggy day. 28 degrees without the humidex. over 30 with the Humidex. Sunday arrives sunny, cloud 27. Monday back into the cloud cover 26. And a 40% chance of some passing showers on the Tuesday, cooling down to 22 degrees. This is the 5-day extended forecast for York Region. Saturday, Sunday, 26, 27 degrees. Nice. Monday arrives 27. Back to school, back to work, right? Tuesday arrives, whoop, there we go. It's eventually going to happen. We're eventually going to get some rain. Only a 40% chance thereof on the day in the 5-day extended forecast. Have a look. Muskoka, Parry Sound, Halliburton. Saturday, Sunday, 26, 27. Fair skies, we're going to call it. Monday arrives. There's the cloud cover, 24. And cooling down to 16 degrees and a 40% chance of showers on the Tuesday. We know the rain is eventually to get here. Make sure you water your plants, he's saying, in early October, because we don't have a whole lot of rain to speak of. Sarah.
Let's talk about Barrie's Sport Hall of Fame because it has officially inducted 8 new names, a mix of our region's top athletes and coaches.
Very much, Joe, and congratulations.
Each are being recognized for their contributions to sport here in Barrie, showing excellence both locally and on the world stage. 2022 World Championship Hockey gold medalist and PWHL star Jesse Eldridge is one of the inductees, recognized as an exceptional player.
Never thought that the sport would take me to all the places it has, and including tonight. So I think started with the love of the game and different opportunities started to pop up. So that's made surreal, but again, all brings back to my family.
I never anticipated 300 people, filling a room, listening to our message. Where we were a couple years ago to where we are right now, it's wow.
The Barrie Sports Hall of Fame is marking 40 years, shining a light on those who embody sport in our region. The end of an era marked by a celebration of sorts. This community in Muskoka Lakes offered a send-off for a local staple that's now shuttered for good. Plus, we'll recap tonight's top stories, but first, a 70th anniversary message from a former longtime Barrie broadcaster.
Hi folks, I'm Janie Robinson, and I worked at the television station off and on from 1980 till 2001. I have so many wonderful memories of being there, but I think one of my favorites is getting to do a story about growing up here in lovely little Daisy. And another is co-hosting the 12:30 news with my talented friend Kevin Marks. It's wonderful that so many of us that have worked together all those years ago are still great friends today. Happy anniversary, CKVR, and to all of you, thanks for watching all these many years.
The Fall Color Report, brought to you by Canador Garage Doors, delivering great service to your door in Simcoe County and Muskoka.
Recapping our top stories on this Thursday, hundreds of college support staff were joined today by supporters to walk the picket line at Georgian College in Orillia. 10,000 full-time college support staff across the province have been on strike since September 11th, demanding better wages, benefits, and job security. On Wednesday night, Barrie City Council approved new rules for public property, partly aimed at addressing homelessness. The bylaw includes a ban on individuals handing out items on city property. Council also voted to make its winter patio pilot project permanent. And staff at Algonquin Provincial Park say the fall colors have already hit their peak earlier than usual, partly due to a summer drought. The golden after show of yellows and oranges is still expected later this month. Visitors are reminded to park safely when stopping to take in the view. A new survey shows that more than a third of Canadians have full-time jobs. Have taken on a second to make ends meet. The annual jobs report from Employment Hero calls this trend polyemployment, where workers patch together incomes from multiple roles. Now, on that note, Amazon Canada is set to hire more than 7,000 people to fill seasonal roles. The company says it will also boost the hourly wage by 4% to $24.50. Hiring starts this month and continues through December. Canada's main stock index took a hit this morning, dropping over 150 points, mostly due to losses in telecom, banks and mining stocks. Let's go and take a look at the numbers now. The TSX was up 52 points to close the day. The Dow was up 78 and the Nasdaq was up 88. And commodities oil was down to close at $60.48 a barrel. Gold was down to finish at $38.68 an ounce, and our dollar was down to end the day at 71.62 cents US. The federal government is launching a new agency to speed up military purchases. Named the Defense Investment Agency, it will operate under Public Services and Procurement Canada. The goal is to deliver equipment to the Canadian Armed Forces at a faster pace that will better meet its needs. The Liberals first promised the move back in 2019, but those plans were put on hold because of the pandemic. The community in Bala came together to bid farewell to the town's beloved beer store.
In the Bala Beer Store, gone but never forgotten. And may your bright orange lights shine forever brightly.
Residents held what they referred to as a funeral to mark the end, sending it off with one final cheers for all the beers. The location is one of many from the chain that have been slated to close across Ontario as alcohol sales expand to grocery and convenience stores. The beer store location on Blake Street here in Barrie will be closing on November 16th. Still to come, the countdown is on. Excitement is building as Taylor Swift's new album gets ready to drop. Details after the break, but first, let's continue our 70th anniversary celebration.
So on behalf of the people that I represent in Barrie, South Innisfil, congratulations again on this incredible milestone, 70 years. Congratulations to all those who've worked at CTV Barrie and those who continue to be there. We're proud of the work that you do, and we're proud to have you as part of our community. And here's to 70 years more.
Here's a look at your Thursday night primetime lineup. NFL football, San Francisco taking on Los Angeles starts at 8, and CTV News Barrie will air after the football game wraps up. Thanks for staying with us. The Blue Jays will learn tonight who their opponent will be in the American League Divisional Series.
Austin Wells. And lines one into right field. Fair ball. Chisholm to third. He's being waved. Eaton coming home. Here's the throw. He's safe.
The New York Yankees took a 4-3 lead in Game 2 of their wildcard series with the Boston Red Sox and hung on for the win. Game 3 goes tonight to decide who will head to Toronto. Meanwhile, the Jays played a second intra-squad game this afternoon as the team gears up for the AL Division Series that gets underway Saturday at the Rogers Centre. And excitement is building for Swifties across the world as Taylor Swift's album will soon be released. The Life of a Showgirl will come out at some point tomorrow. It's her 12th album, and fans can celebrate at special movie theater release parties, including one right here in Barrie. We're going to find you at the Taylor Swift release party, Case?
I wish I could attend. Absolutely. I'm a huge Swiftie.
I appreciate the hard work that Taylor Swift has put in. Her career has been tricky, long, tough.
Yes, unlike the forecast and unlike the get up and go, let's get to it. And here we go, turning the page. And there's the sun first thing tomorrow morning, right across the board. Barrie, Newmarket, Gravenhurst, 7 and 8 degrees. Another fantastic summer-like day ahead of us. Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Sarah.
Thanks, Case, and I will extend the same well wishes to our viewers. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday. Jack will be on the desk tonight at 11. Please do join us tomorrow for our last day as we celebrate the 70th anniversary of CKVR. Good night.